Hey friends, it's Tracy. Welcome to today's video. I am sharing some rustic turkeys with you. Guys, Thanksgiving does seem to be the forgotten holiday. You know, we go from summer to fall to Halloween and then straight on into Christmas. But I wanted to showcase the little rustic turkey, so let's go ahead and get started. For this cute project, I am just going to be hitting the highlights of it. Now, this is a project that I did on a Facebook Live a couple of years ago, and I put this together using some of these flags from the Dollar Tree. You know, you can get in the 4th of July section or patriotic section. And so if you do not have all of this stuff, do not worry, because I do have some free patterns that you can download, like the shape of it, so that if you wanted to do something like this for this Thanksgiving season. Now, you know, Thanksgiving to me is kind of the forgotten holiday, and so I loved putting this video together and revisiting this cute rustic turkey that I did a couple of years ago, because it is just so cute, and I'm going to be using him this season again. Okay, so guys, what I used, like I said, are two of those flag banner pennants from the Dollar Tree. And then for the turkey body, what I did is I traced them out, and you can check the description box for the link of everything. I have the turkey body, I have the nose, the wattle, the hands, as well as the shape of the feathers, so that you can, like I said, print it out. And you can trace it on cardboard, foam board, wood, or something else that I may not be thinking about. You can use that. It's my gift to you, my community, just to share for those that do not have these supplies available. All right, so all of the scrapbook paper came from Hobby Lobby, and if my paper wasn't wide enough, I had some 8.5 by 11 sheets that I just taped together, and then I traced those out. And the reason I did that is just because I wanted the patterns the way that they look, and you're not even going to see the tape because I taped everything together. And so then the pit berries that I'm using for the feathers came from Hobby Lobby. And let me see, there is a couple of other things, but the majority of the things that I'm using are from the Dollar Tree. For the turkey body, I am using this corrugated scrapbook paper that I got out of a book from Hobby Lobby. Now, I had bought this several years ago. It was on clearance. You can find this type of scrapbook paper, but if not, just use brown paper or cardboard, a cereal box, a soda box, something else, you know, from your pantry that you're going to throw away or recycle would be perfect for something like this. So I'm just kind of showing you right there what the paper pad looked like when I bought it. Also, in the description box will be a link to the original video if you would like to hear in real time when I'm talking and explaining exactly what I'm doing to put this rustic turkey decor piece together. Just check out the description box for that link. Okay, what I'm doing here is putting a layer of Mod Podge on the board, and then I'm going to attach my scrapbook paper. Now, this project was done a couple of years ago, way before I learned the heat transfer method, which is my preferred method of putting scrapbook paper on my boards like this, where I use the Mod Podge, let that dry, and then I heat it up with my little mini iron that you see me use in like more current projects. And so I just wanted to share with you that that's what I did in this project. I just put my podge on, let it dry, and that kind of thing. Now again, you can get the patterns for these things in my link tree in my free patterns that are over on my blog for personal use. Okay, then now I'm going to start assembling my feathers. But before I do that, I want to add some distressing ink, and I'm just using vintage photo distress ink and just my little finger dauber. It has a sponge on the end. I'm just going around just to give it some color. Now, I've gotten a question of when do I decide to use the distress ink versus the paint, like when I shade on my painted projects. Well, that's just it. If I'm using wood or something like that, I tend to use paint and shade with the brown paint with that. But if I'm using a paper, scrapbook paper, tags, or like paper bags or that kind of thing, something that if it gets wet and may smear, that distressing ink may smear, then I will use that on my scrapbook paper. And so usually I don't put a varnish on, these kind of things, only because it's paper. All right, so then now I'm going to add some doodling, because y'all know that I love to add my doodles and my squiggles and all that stuff. And so then I'll just offset one of those banners a little bit higher than the other one, just so that it looks like the feathers is, where I can see both of the scrapbook papers. And as you can see, I am doing, a voiceover here only because there was a lot of chatter and that kind of thing. And since this video is something that I had done previously, I wanted to hit the high points and just kind of just go through and share with you exactly what I did. So one of those little signs that said "Welcome Fall," Dollar Tree usually has some sort of design that, every year they come out with different little sayings. So just use what you have. You can always paint it, use stickers, cut something out with your die cutting machine, or print it out on your computer. All right, so then I had traced out that turkey body on that corrugated cardboard. And so, if you don't want to use that, you can use a cereal box. You can use, different things like that. Just use paper or brown cardstock, something like that. I just love to share ideas. And, I just want to inspire you. All right. So then I give some shading around the turkey body. Then I'm also using my stencil brush and some coral paint just to start making the face of the little turkey, because y'all know I love my whimsical faces. And so I just make some little cheeks. I also make some eyes. I like to use the same method. I just, make some eyes. I use my little liner brush to make some eyelashes, and then just bring the little turkey to life. And so I also use my liner brush just to add a few lines on the cheeks. Now, a lot of people use blush, like real blush. I have used that in the past as well. So it just really depends. You as the creator can use anything that gives you the color that you want. So then I just painted the beak of the turkey, just a yellow color, and then red for the wattle. Then I just did some distressing around the feathers, or the AKA hands of my turkey, just to, kind of give it, some depth and character. And then I will assemble all of that together. Now, what I do is, for the pumpkin, it is one of those wooden pumpkins that come in a little pack from the Dollar Tree. And then I just give that a color of orange. I think that color is Canyon Orange. That's my favorite pumpkin color when I'm doing projects like this. And if there's something that I'm doing in the video that I don't quite catch, just leave me a comment, and then I will try to research it and figure out what I did to answer your question. I will put a link in the description box below to the original video if you would like to hear what I'm saying as I'm creating this. All right, so then I'm going to use the pit berries from Hobby Lobby. Those are my feathers, and so I just put those on the back of the turkey, kind of positioning them so they kind of stick out just like they were the feathers. I'm just using a little Jenga block or tumbling tower block from the Dollar Tree just to lift up that pumpkin, and then I will just glue my turkey hands feathers right there on the sides, and then just kind of position it the way it is. And I just love the way that it turned out. I just love this turkey so much, just using the majority of the things from the Dollar Tree. Again, if you want to see the original video where you hear firsthand what I was saying, what I was doing, look for the link in the description box below, as well as in my link tree for the patterns on my website. I'm starting with a 14-inch wire frame from the Dollar Tree, and then these are just a few of the 10-inch mesh that I'm starting with. Later on in the video, I am going to switch up and use a few more. This is the star of the show, this cute football turkey. I tell you, my boys are so into football, and this just reminded me of them because they love football, and Thanksgiving is their favorite holiday. Surprising, but they both love Thanksgiving. All right, guys, so what I do for my 10-inch mesh, I am just rolling it out on my mat, and I'm cutting it at 14 inches. Now, I know there are a lot of different ways that, people can cut mesh, use rollers and all of that stuff, but whatever works for you, the wreath maker, will depend on how you cut your mesh. So I'm making the cruffles, and how I do that is bending over the end, and that helps with the fraying. Then I gather it in the middle, and then I just clip it with a little clip. And so then I'm just continuing to cut these at 14 inches until I get all of these cut at 14 inches. All right, so when I switched to the brown and the orange, because I wanted a little bit more color in my wreath once I got into it and started making this. So I had this brown and orange mesh from Hobby Lobby, and I only had a little bit on the roll. So that's why I just switched it up and just used some of the mesh that I already had. And so this is just a combination of just different meshes that I got either from Hobby Lobby, Craft Outlet, some maybe I had some brown mesh in my stash, and I can't really remember where I got it from, but you can get deco mesh a lot of different places, and Hobby Lobby is probably one of my favorite places, or Craft Outlet. So like I said, I cut all of these at 10 inches, did my cruffles, and then I'm going to put them on to my my 14-inch wreath frame. And so then when I get finished, I'm going to have 22 pipe cleaners to put ribbon in. And even though I have a lot of different 10-inch mesh in here, I use my same technique or my same method of when I put a pipe cleaner on, I usually start in the inner ring, and then I just put a bundle on it like this, and then I twist my pipe cleaner closed. Then I just move to the outer ring, and then I go to the inner ring, outer ring, and I do it on 2 rings. I always attach my pipe cleaner with 2 rings because it gives a little bit more stability where it's not so loose. And so I'll just continue to go all the way around the wreath, just alternating these deco mesh because I was using several different colors. I just kind of alternated them until they go around until I like the look of it. And so this is how it looks so far. And so this is kind of where when I decided, I want to get a little bit of olive green green in there so that I could pull out some of that color of the green from the turkey's face, or from the turkey's head rather. And so I had this left over, and so I'm like, yep, that'll be great. I'll just cut 14 inches of that. So I cut 4 of these, and then I do the cruffles as well, and then just gather them and put them on the wreath with a pipe cleaner. And it works great because it just pulls out the green, like I said, from the turkey's helmet. And, it's just all about, I love lots of color and lots of texture and everything in my wreaths. These are the ribbons that I'm using in this wreath. The majority came from Hobby Lobby or either Craft Outlet. So I cut my 2.5 inch at 13 inches, as well as the window pane. Now the 1.5 inch orange I cut at 12 inches. And so then I'm just making my bundles like this. I make like a X pattern and then just go through using my little tiny attacher and just putting a small staple in the middle. And then I like to do this. I do kind of the same process in all of my wreaths, but I just want to encourage you. Each wreath maker has their own way of doing things. So whatever works for you, I just like to share tips of what works for me. I like to get all of my bundles together, and then once I'm ready to start putting ribbon into my mesh bundles, then I can just grab and go. And so when I'm using a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch, I just make my bundles like this, and then now we are ready to go and put them into my wreath. I also tied some kind of just some raffia, because that is going to go into one bundle of the wreath. And so then I just alternate, just kind of in a tic-tac-toe pattern. What I decided is I'm leaving the green deco mesh. I'm skipping over that one because I have some 1.5 inch football ribbon that I'm going to make some bows in, and that is what I'm going to put into that green deco mesh. And so like I said, for the raffia, I decide which ones I wanted to go in, and so I just put it in that one. I kind of go in a tic-tac-toe pattern when I have 3 different sets of ribbon like this, and it just really adds a lot of character and a lot of depth to my wreaths when I just put different patterns and just different country style patterns. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but what I mean is, I do get a lot of questions about my ribbon choices. How do I pick my ribbons and all of that stuff? And a lot of it comes from my sign of what I want to do, and also the season. So like, I looked at the turkey and I'm like, he is very colorful. And so, yeah, I just went through and picked out different colors that I thought would look really good in this. And guys, I know that I just love this so much. And so then here is the football ribbon. What I did is I just made a bow out of it, and I just made sure that I didn't cut too I didn't want to like cut the football part off. So what I do is I just make 2 loops like that. Then I just put it in that green ribbon. And this football ribbon came from Craft Outlet. All right, for the turkey, it came on a stake, so I cut that stick off just with my miter saw, and then now I'm going to give it some doodles, just kind of Tracyfy it for what I like to do. I love to take already cute signs and then just add my doodles and my squiggles, just maybe give it some paint splattering just to give a little bit more of my touches to it. And so I just love doing this for cute little signs. So I'm just going around with my fine Sharpie marker and just kind of highlighting different places. Then I will go back and add some white highlights just with my liner brush. Just go around just adding some, just different squiggles and just kind of bring this little guy to life. And so then I'll go back and add some paint splattering. And my method of paint splattering is by using a stiff brush and a stick and just running the stick over the bristles like the stick toward my body so that the paint projects onto my project. And then once my paint splatter is all dry, I will give it a coat of this varnish. You can get it at the craft store, or it is in my Amazon shop if it's something that you want to have shipped to you. All right, so to attach the turkey to my wreath, I like to use these 1-inch cable ties that I find from Amazon, and then I just glue them on the back. They're already sticky, but I give them, ensure that they are really glued down just using some E6000 and my hot glue. Then I use pipe cleaners and, just thread those through there. Then I use an upholstery needle to help thread the pipe cleaner through the deco mesh, and then I attach that pipe cleaner to the wreath frame so that my sign is secure. And then I just fluff out my ribbons just to make sure that none of the tails are tucked underneath, and so that everything looks nice. To cover the back of my wreaths, I use the placemats that I can get from Hobby Lobby during the fall season. They just look really nice. And then I make a hanger with this grapevine wire that I also get from Hobby Lobby. And so I just attach those placemats just with some extra pipe cleaners. And then for the turkey, I just added a little bow tie there. I just tied a piece of raffia along with a piece of that football ribbon around his neck. And I just think he just turned out so cute, just, already. It was already a cute little sign, but I just made him pop a little bit more by just adding the little country touches that I like to do for my wreaths.